Hi, Pickles. Well, one of my most beloved pickles suggested that I read this Food Junkies, written by two people and who have experienced this disease, this compulsion, and it's one of the best books I've ever read on food addiction. If you don't think you're a food addict, then it probably won't apply to you. But it does address a lot of things at the beginning, which, if you have concerns or questions about whether you could be, this might help you answer. It's written in a very page-turning way. I love it. And as you can see, Kindle, $5.61. So, yep, I got it. And that's what I'm up to. Oh, look at the little zoom. My. Huh. You don't need to see. Whoa! Wee! There we go. So, that's what I've been busying myself with, as if I have to have a book report due. But, yeah, it's a great read for me. You know, sometimes when we read something, it's to get validation about how we feel. And people that have, one of them is a doctor and the other one is just been in the field for a long time. Not necessarily with the educational creds, but I don't have the educational creds either. I just know that I've been a food addict, and in one way or another, with add-ons and subtracts, I have been dealing with my food addiction since my 20s when I entered Overeaters Anonymous. And I certainly learned about a lot of my ways, which are the same or different, but it's the feelings and emotions that certain things would give me that are the relatable part to other people that suffer the same affliction. And so, you know, I always said I never had a full button. Never. I didn't know what that meant. And so I could just keep on eating. It's amazing what I probably got away with in my 20s, when my metabolism would just keep on roaring, right? Don't we all wish we had that again? And now, of course, it's, you know, a total slowdown at 66, so I have to be very careful of what I eat. My calorie ranges is usually between 1,400 and 1,700 a day, and I've maintained the same weight for over a year now. And so it goes up a couple, comes down a couple, and so with my low-carb, high-fat / keto food plan, it really is pretty cool. And one of my favorite peeps, and Pickles, texted me, and she said, isn't it great to not always feel hungry? And it's like, yeah, it is great to not always feel hungry and obsessed, especially if you happen to be with a kitchen nearby, either at your job or at home or on the weekends or at night when the nighttime eating could kick in. And so, yes, it is a great relief not to always be thinking, not necessarily about food, but how you wish you could stop thinking about food, right? So it's also fascinating to learn about it and yourself with the different ways. And I'm always delighted to find yet another thing to read. And as most of you know, I'm really good for the first, 25% of each book that I get. And then I just find something else that I'm reading. But this one, I think I might make it through. It is fascinating. And so I know that for me, part of my food addiction was being addicted to highly processed foods, carbohydrates, and sugar. And I could just, I was eating the poison that was causing the triggering and the craving. And so until they were eliminated and I went through the withdrawal of the sugar and the grains, I would always have them. And a little bit would keep that pilot light lit. And so I had to learn how to not have those things in my food plan. And it slowly, by golly, has worked. I am not the only thing that I talk about craving is pizza. And so fortunately the Fathead pizza, just absolutely fills the need and doesn't make me start thinking that maybe I can eat carbohydrates, meaning grains, in safety. Sugar is a different animal. I actually made a lemon curd pudding, and I made it with stevia and xyla, and it was delicious. And the other ingredients are lemon juice, egg yolks, and butter. And so it is a highly, highly, highly elegant and fat concentrated dessert. So I had a cup that, probably had maybe 2 tablespoons of the lemon curd and for a dessert. And I hadn't had a dessert in well over a month. It was delicious. And Greg ate all the rest. And so I made a second batch yesterday, and I used real sugar for him, which is an automatic no-no for me. So that part was really good. But yeah, for me, it would be the carbohydrate that I might miss. So it's been spaghetti squash and Fathead pizza that have carried me past the, gosh, I miss pasta, and pizza. And so those things have saved me. The sugar isn't really calling to me. I think I wanted to taste that lemony, buttery sort of dessert taste, but 2 tablespoons was totally satisfying. Plus, I'm one of those that whatever vessel I use to put my things in, if I made a salad this big, I would eat it all. If I made a salad this big, I would eat it all. I am one of those, I finish what I have. So when I have one of my 1-egg lunches with 2 strips of bacon, it's on a Fiesta plate, I guess they call it maybe a salad plate. I would call it the bread and butter plate, 7.5 inches. And it fits onto that. And so it fits. It's big on the plate. And that's a visual that I've taken with me from Overeaters Anonymous. So I fill the plate, but the plate is small. And that seems to work with me. The visual is satisfying. And so the ingredients the food items that are on the plate is satisfying. And that's just one of those things. And as many of you know, I dine. I use, a real plate with a cloth napkin, and whether it's 1 little fried egg with 2 strips of bacon and 2 ounces of berries, and it works. And I guess I don't question it. I don't sit there and think, I wish there was more. And then I usually have a second glass of lemon water with my vitamins, my supplements, after I have that lunch. And so it really gives the feeling of fullness. And I'm able to go the next 5 hours until the next meal. So if you're curious, the Food Junkies, I always read the Amazon reviews, because those things help me a lot. And sometimes I could spend the whole day just reading the reviews and I don't even need the book. But for $5.61, it was definitely worth it. What's that? The cost of something junky that you buy and you eat in one seating? So for me, it was a great find, and thank you, my beloved Pickle, for suggesting it. She's given me lots of food suggestions or combos or eliminations or add-ons throughout the last couple of years, and this was the first book she's recommended, I believe, that I haven't read, and so I glommed onto it. So anyway, this has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food Junkie. Yes, I am, and proud of it, because I've got the tools in my toolkit to help me attack each day with what I want for my body to have. And it always begins and ends with the tracker matching every bite that I take. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.